Have you ever felt undervalued, ignored, or underestimated by someone who should actually appreciate you? In today's teaching, we are going to explore 9 attitudes that can leave such people unsettled, all based on the principles of Stoicism. These attitudes work like powerful tools that will reshape the way you present yourself in your relationships and how you deal with those who don't appreciate you as they should. Imagine having total control over your emotions and reactions without being shaken by the attitudes of others. Have you ever thought about discovering how to remain calm and dignified even in the most challenging situations? Then stay tuned, because these 9 strategies will show you exactly that, bringing peace and self-confidence into your life. Have you gone through moments where your qualities and efforts were not recognized? Have you had to deal with people who fail to value you, even when you're giving your very best? We're going to talk about that and offer practical steps you can immediately apply to improve your interactions and strengthen your self-esteem. Stay with us until the end and discover how to leave those people desperate. Have you noticed how sometimes silence speaks louder than words? Picture a situation where someone tries to provoke you, to belittle you, expecting an explosive reaction, and you simply remain quiet, calmly observing. That is the power of strategic silence, a Stoic tool that can completely transform your interactions. In Stoicism, silence is not just the absence of words, but a deliberate choice, an act of self-control and power. When you decide not to respond verbally to provocation, you are demonstrating mastery over your emotions that few are able to achieve. This self-mastery disarms and often unsettles the other person who was waiting for your reaction. Think back to the times you were treated unfairly or underestimated. What was your response? If you argued or tried to explain yourself, you ended up falling into the other person's game. But when you use silence, you refuse to participate in that dynamic. It's like a chess match. Instead of moving your pieces right away, you observe, analyze, and wait for the right moment to act, if there even is one. Silence also gives you time to think, to evaluate the situation, and to decide the best way to respond. If responding is even necessary, it shows that you are not at the mercy of momentary emotions. This confuses those who try to destabilize you, because most people are not used to such a response. They expect an outburst, a counterattack, something that validates their provocation. Beyond that, silence reveals an inner strength that many underestimate. When you stay quiet in the face of an offense, you show that you don't need anyone's approval or recognition to validate your worth. Your confidence comes from within, not from external opinions, and that strength is extremely powerful because it is immune to outside criticism. Imagine how this can transform your relationships. Instead of engaging in unnecessary conflicts, you remain calm and firm. People start to see you differently, realizing that you are not easily shaken, that your strength comes from a deep and unshakable place. And this transformation is not only external. Internally, you start to feel a peace and confidence you may never have experienced before. You realize that you don't need to prove anything to anyone, that your worth isn't in the words you say or the arguments you win, but in the way you conduct your life with serenity and purpose. So, the next time someone tries to devalue or provoke you, remember the power of Stoic silence. Use it as your secret weapon, and you'll see how it begins to transform not only your relationships but also yourself. Silence can be your greatest ally on the Stoic path, showing the world your inner strength without the need to utter a single word. Have you ever been in a situation where someone tried to provoke you, expecting an explosive reaction? Imagine the power of staying composed, of not giving the response they anticipate. This is what we call the art of not reacting, one of the most valuable principles of Stoicism. Picture a meeting where someone makes a sarcastic remark about your work. Everyone looks at you, waiting for you to strike back, to defend yourself. But instead, you take a deep breath, look at the person calmly, and choose not to respond immediately. That pause, that control, is where your true strength lies. Many people believe that reacting quickly is a sign of strength, but in reality, it's the opposite. Reacting impulsively usually means that you are being controlled by your emotions instead of mastering them. Stoicism teaches that real power lies in maintaining calmness and clarity, even when we are provoked. Think of a burning ember. If you blow on it, the fire grows. If you ignore it, it eventually goes out. When we don't react right away, we allow our emotions to settle, giving ourselves the space to think clearly and respond in a way that truly reflects who we are and what we want. Furthermore, when you don't respond impulsively, you unsettle the person who tried to destabilize you. They expect an outburst, a counterattack, something that confirms their provocation. By not reacting, you break this cycle, showing that you are not a prisoner of the emotions of the moment. You are in control. Imagine how this could transform your daily interactions. Instead of being seen as someone driven by emotions, you become a calm and steady presence. People begin to respect you more, seeing you as someone who thinks before acting, someone who is not easily shaken. This ability benefits not only your relationships with others, but also your inner peace. By learning the art of not reacting, you start living with more serenity, no longer allowing small provocations to drain your energy. You realize that you have the power to choose your responses, to live according to your values, and not at the mercy of other people's emotions. So the next time someone tries to provoke you, remember the art of not reacting. Use that moment to breathe, to calm yourself, and to choose your response wisely. You will be amazed at the difference it makes in your life and in the respect you earn from others. The art of not reacting is one of the greatest strengths Stoicism can offer us, allowing us to live with greater balance and serenity. Have you ever thought about the freedom that comes from being self-sufficient? Imagine not having to depend on anyone to achieve your goals and fulfill your desires. This not only strengthens you, but also changes the way others see you. Being self-sufficient is a demonstration of power and self-confidence that Stoicism deeply values. When you are self-sufficient, you are no longer bound by the expectations or demands of others. Think of how liberating that is. You take control of your life, of your choices, and this is reflected in everything you do. People begin to see you differently, admiring your independence and strength. Imagine a garden that you nurture with your own hands. Every plant that grows, every flower that blossoms, is the result of your effort. That garden is a metaphor for your life. When you build your life with your own hands, the outcome is something genuine, something that reflects your dedication and resilience. Those around you cannot help but notice and admire it. When you become selective about who you choose to share your life with, you don't have to accept just any treatment, because you know you can stand on your own. This makes people around you recognize your real worth and want to be part of your life not out of necessity, but out of choice. Self-sufficiency also protects you from manipulation. Those who try to undermine you see the strength and security of someone who doesn't need them for anything. This disarms any attempt to control you, because you are above such petty traps. Every time you show self-sufficiency, you send a powerful message: I am enough. That message resonates in everything you do, reinforcing your sense of worth and purpose. People around you start to notice it. They see that you don't bow down to difficulties, that you have the ability to overcome challenges on your own. Being self-sufficient doesn't mean isolating yourself or rejecting help, but rather having the certainty that, if necessary, you can move forward alone. That inner confidence is inspiring and draws admiration from everyone. They see in you someone who knows their worth and doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. So, cultivate your self-sufficiency. By doing so, you not only strengthen yourself, but also shift the dynamics of your relationships. You become an example of independence and inner strength, someone people want to have around. In the end, being self-sufficient is one of the greatest powers you can develop, showing the world that you are complete in yourself. When you concentrate on what truly matters, something extraordinary happens. You begin to live a life with purpose instead of being dragged along by the demands and expectations of others. You define your own priorities, and this creates an inner strength that is difficult to shake. Imagine being at a party filled with shallow conversations and noise. Instead of feeling obliged to participate in everything, you choose to talk with one or two people who genuinely matter to you. That focus completely transforms the experience, leaving you with a sense of connection and fulfillment rather than exhaustion. Now apply this to your life. When you focus on the essential, you start saying no to everything that doesn't add value. This not only frees your time and energy, but also sends a clear message: you know what you want, and you will not be diverted by distractions. Those who try to devalue you don't know how to handle this, because you refuse to play their game. Think of a ship at sea. If it has no clear destination, any wind or current can push it off course, but if it has a defined goal, it sails steadily, regardless of the storms. When you have clarity about what truly matters, you become that ship, moving firmly toward your objectives, unaffected by attempts from others to derail you. This focus on what's essential also brings inner peace. When you stop worrying about trivial things and concentrate on what really counts, you feel lighter. Your concerns decrease, and you start noticing the beauty in life's simple and meaningful aspects. This is something many people never experience, and it is exactly what can leave them perplexed. Here lies the secret. When you focus on the essential, you become a source of inspiration. The people around you notice your clarity and determination. They see that you are not distracted by trivialities, and they begin to respect you for it. Those who attempt to belittle you become unsettled, unable to comprehend how you remain so focused and unshakable. So start living with that focus. Prioritize what matters and leave the rest behind. This is one of Stoicism's most powerful lessons, capable of completely transforming not only how you live, but also how you are perceived by others. When you dedicate yourself to the essential, you not only discover a new strength within yourself, but also show the world that you are someone who knows what they want and refuses to be diverted by anything or anyone. Imagine a beautiful beach where the shoreline is clearly defined. The water knows exactly how far it can go, and the sand remains calm and secure in its place. Just like that beach, we also need to establish clear boundaries in our lives. Setting boundaries is an act of self-respect, and it is essential for others to respect you as well. Establishing boundaries doesn't mean building walls to push people away, but rather creating a safe space where you can truly flourish. When you define what is acceptable and what is not, you are telling the world that you value yourself enough to protect your well-being. This not only increases your self-respect, but also makes others view you in a different light. Think of it like a garden. If you don't put up fences, animals and people can step on your flowers, destroying your hard work. By fencing your garden, you are protecting what is valuable to you. In the same way, when you establish boundaries, you are preserving your inner peace and your time, two of the most precious resources we have. When you start setting boundaries, something incredible happens. People begin to treat you with more respect. They realize that you are not willing to accept just any kind of behavior, and that you value your energy and time. This can unsettle those who are used to crossing your limits, because now they are forced to adjust their actions. Creating boundaries also gives you a sense of control. You are no longer at the mercy of other people's demands and expectations. You decide where to invest your time and energy. This provides you with enormous freedom and makes you feel more powerful and confident in your decisions. Don't think of setting boundaries as selfishness. In fact, it is one of the greatest acts of self-love you can practice. When you respect yourself enough to say no when necessary, you are taking care of yourself. And in turn, this allows you to be a better version of yourself for the people who truly matter in your life. By drawing clear boundaries, you also set an example for others. They see that it's possible to live according to your values and priorities without being swayed by outside pressures. You become an inspiration, showing that it is possible to live an authentic and fulfilling life. So start thinking about the boundaries you need to set. Respect yourself, and watch how the world begins to respect you more. Establishing boundaries is a powerful Stoic practice that can not only transform your relationships, but also, most importantly, change the way you see yourself. When you do this, you will discover a new strength and an inner peace that come from knowing you are taking care of your own garden. How many times have you felt overwhelmed because you couldn't say no or allowed others to cross your limits? Imagine the relief and strength you would feel by setting clear boundaries, protecting your time and peace of mind. How would your life change if you began to respect yourself more and demand the same respect from others? Reflect on this, and if you want, share your story. Imagine having the ability to use time in your favor, turning every moment into an opportunity to grow and thrive. Stoicism teaches us the wisdom of letting time act as our ally, a powerful concept that can unsettle anyone who tries to pressure or underestimate us. Think about nature. A tree is never in a hurry to grow. It follows its own rhythm, ignoring the changing seasons and storms. With time, it becomes strong, sturdy, and unshakable. This is how the Stoic lives, understanding that time is a faithful companion, capable of turning adversity into strength and patience into power. When someone tries to provoke you or push you into giving a quick response, your serenity can leave them bewildered. While everyone around you rushes to fix everything immediately, you remain calm. This ability to wait, to give time its place, demonstrates a rare and admirable inner strength. Using time in your favor does not mean being passive or inert. On the contrary, it is an active form of control. When you choose to wait for the right moment to act, you are showing deep understanding of circumstances and confidence in your ability to handle any challenge. It's like a chess game, where every move is calculated and made at exactly the right moment. Think back to the times you rushed into a decision and later regretted it. Now imagine if you had waited longer, thought more carefully, allowed time to show the right path. This is the wisdom of time, a Stoic lesson that teaches us the importance of not acting impulsively, but with reflection and discernment. Those who observe your patience might first underestimate you, thinking you are hesitant or indecisive, but eventually they recognize the strength of your serenity. They understand that you are not reacting randomly, but acting according to a well-thought-out plan. Knowing that time brings new opportunities and solutions is a sign of true strength. Those who try to tear you down or devalue you end up frustrated by your patience. They realize you are like that strong tree that keeps growing regardless of storms. Use this understanding to reflect, to grow, and to fortify your resilience. Show the world that your patience is not weakness, but rather a powerful demonstration of control and wisdom. By doing this, you become a living example of serenity and strength. If you are enjoying this teaching and want to keep learning how to apply Stoic principles to transform your life, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and join us on this journey of growth and self-knowledge. Imagine dealing with someone negative, someone who constantly tries to discourage you with criticism and disdain. Now picture yourself responding to that person with genuine gratitude. It may sound counterintuitive, but the practice of gratitude can completely change that dynamic and even unsettle those who don't value you. When you begin to cultivate gratitude, something remarkable happens. Your perspective shifts. You start to notice the good in situations and in people, even in those determined to belittle you. By expressing gratitude, you not only improve your emotional state, but also break the expectations of those who look forward to a negative reaction from you. Think of gratitude as a powerful weapon. When someone criticizes you and you respond with a sincere, "Thank you for your feedback, I'll reflect on that," you completely disarm the person. They expected to upset you, but instead they face a calm and grateful reply, leaving them unsure of how to proceed. By practicing gratitude, you also strengthen your positive relationships. You value good moments more, and you increase your overall well-being. Those who attempt to devalue you soon realize that their words have little or no effect on you. Gratitude is not only a reaction, it is a daily practice. When you wake up, give thanks for the new day, for the little things, a warm cup of coffee, a friendly smile, a moment of peace. This simple act changes your energy and the way you approach challenges. Over time, this positive attitude begins to radiate to everyone around you. Now think about a moment when you were unfairly criticized. Instead of responding with anger or frustration, imagine saying, "I appreciate your point of view, it gives me a new perspective to consider." This answer not only shows maturity, but also confuses the critic, who never expected such serenity from you. This approach makes people around you respect you more. They see that you are not easily shaken, that you have built a strong foundation of gratitude and positivity. That foundation becomes a fortress that no criticism or negativity can penetrate. Practicing gratitude is not just about being polite. It's about transforming your perspective and the way you interact with the world. With each word of thanks, you raise a shield against negativity and strengthen your inner peace. So, the next time someone tries to tear you down with negative words, respond with gratitude. Watch how this not only transforms the interaction, but also reinforces your serenity and confidence. Throughout this journey, we explored 7 Stoic attitudes, each one acting as a true instrument of inner strength. We saw how strategic silence can be louder than 1,000 words, how calmness in the face of provocation is an act of power, how self-sufficiency brings freedom, how focusing on what matters illuminates the path, and how setting boundaries is an act of self-respect. We also learned how time, when embraced as an ally, becomes a teacher, how gratitude protects us from negativity, how resilience makes us unbreakable, and how radical honesty builds trust. These practices not only disarm those who try to belittle you, but also reveal both to the world and to yourself the greatness of your inner power. Embracing these principles does not mean living a cold, detached, or indifferent life, but choosing to act with awareness, mastering yourself instead of being ruled by circumstances. Stoicism teaches us that true value does not depend on external validation, but on what we cultivate within: discipline, clarity, courage, and purpose. When you choose to live guided by these foundations, you discover a freedom that cannot be taken away, a peace that cannot be broken, and a confidence that cannot be erased by criticism or rejection. It is here that genuine respect begins to arise, not because you demand it, but because your posture naturally inspires it. So, the next time someone tries to devalue or diminish you, remember these 9 attitudes. Use silence as your shield, calmness as your sword, self-sufficiency as your armor, and gratitude as your light. Keep your boundaries firm, trust in time, practice resilience, live with honesty, and focus on what truly matters. By applying these lessons, you not only transform your relationships but also transform yourself. And once the change happens within, the world around you has no choice but to acknowledge it. This is the power of the Stoic path, not seeking approval but finding freedom, not depending on luck but building purpose, not being lost in outside voices, but listening to the greatness that already lives inside you.